Right, we've apparently had to restart the stream, so we don't know what exactly happened there, guys. I do apologise, but let's just checking on my phone now to make sure that it's all coming through. There we go. Right then, so for those that were watching or have managed to watch something, or if anyone did see anything, we were last on board with Josh Evans, and he did a illegal pit entry during qualifying. Right then, so currently as it stands, it's IRT Leroy which is leading the session. Let's go and find somebody that's on board with IRT Henry. He's getting ready to do a hot lap. We'll stick on board with the Mercedes driver for now. Then let's see what Hilly could do. Right, so just in case nobody heard any of the opening stuff, I am CRL Spider Rob 95. Jamie is not here this evening, so I have had to jump into his position for the evening. We are here live at the Spanish circuit, and everybody is now coming in. So we're going to jump on board with CRL 34, who was kind enough. No, we're going to jump on board with Bosch for a moment. Obviously, like I said, Jamie is ill, so I've had to take his place. This is round 5, and it is a mandatory 2-stop race this evening, which means all of these drivers, regardless of what the weather is, has to stop twice. Meaning that unless it says pitted twice when they cross that checkered flag, if they haven't, it will be disqualified. Simple as that. Right, Josh is now on his hot lap. We're going to stick on board with him for the time being. Let's see what I believe he's the lone Aston Martin driver, and he is. Right then, let's see what he can do. Lovely stuff there through the chicane. It's so easy to lose traction of the car during that bit of the chicane. As he moves on, how he didn't invalidate there is beyond me, but the game says he hasn't, so let's keep going. Right, now the S section, like I said earlier on, but obviously the stream crashed. It's so easy to lose the car, and he's lost it. He's not invalidated again. How? Having a bit of a rough time out there. I wonder if his setup's not comfortable for him. No improvement there from Josh. Meanwhile, CRL 34, or Scott, as he's known, he's about to cross the line, and he goes, no improvement. No improvements from anyone which is crossing the line at the moment. So now we're going to jump on board with, I think it's, who's next? Is it Leroy? No. Everyone's on an outlap now with 2 minutes left on the clock. Everybody is going to be literally looking to make... Everyone's looking to make a mad dash to the... get a lap in. Confirmation from the stewards that it's not... So Josh's illegal pit entry isn't illegal during qualifying, so no further investigation is required against the Aston Martin driver as IRT Leroy spins and finds a wall. I think he's still in. I don't think he's out. He's not. But that's what I was saying earlier. That section of the track, it's nasty. It's so easy to lose it through there. And Leroy just shows exactly how it's done. Meanwhile, CRL 34 is in a gravel pit. He's building sandcastles. I think he's gone for a bit of a spin as well. Hilly has retired in the pits, meaning he doesn't feel he can go any faster, so he will qualify at the moment provisional P9. 1 minute left on the clock for these drivers. Right, let's go and see. Leroy coming in. That'll be the end of his qualifying session. IRT Kenny, he's now going to begin his final hot lap of the evening. We've got a Mercedes driver, I believe it is. I think that was a Mercedes. It was a Mercedes. I'm on board with the wrong Mercedes. It's Kyle. He's now P2, 1 minute 11.54. Free Fall's coming to pit. Strauss has appeared out of nowhere. Obviously, he'll be starting at the back of the grid. Right then, who is next to cross the line? I do apologise. It's, like I said, it's been a while since I've done comms solo. It's a bit hard being by yourself unless you're experienced like Jamie is. It's the reason why he's the lead man to go. Jacob has crossed the line with plenty of time. He might be able to get another lap in with the amount of DRS that he's got left. I don't think it's going to be possible, so he'll settle for P12. Who is next? It's going to be Cahulio, and that's P2 for him, 1 minute 11.4, and the checkered flag has been waved. Right then. Jerome takes steals pole, 1 minute 11.4. That's beautiful stuff. Two Mercedes have got a second row lockout there at the moment as it stands for the Mercedes, but they are on other laps at minute. Right, it's Kenny, which is going to be the next two across the line. He goes to P7, 1 minute 11.6. Is it Nathan which is next? It is Nathan which is going to be next. It is P8, and he moves up to P5, 1 minute 11.5. The other Mercedes driver, Kyle, he's coming to pit. He doesn't feel he can do any more. Next one to cross the line is going to be Bosch Evans. He's not had a good qualifying so far, but hopefully he's going to get that last minute lap in. Round the final corner, tiny bit of a spin. Well, the back end being lost there. And he crosses the line, doesn't improve. He'll settle for P13. AJ, he's coming in. Then Dave, he's in. Is anyone left out on track? And that is going to be it for qualifying. Everybody has come in or has crossed the line already. That is qualifying for the Spanish Grand Prix done. Right then. Oh yeah, sorry, what's it called? I didn't see any of the messages from the guys telling me that the stream wasn't working. I did put it on do not disturb mode, so I wouldn't get notifications. But that's qualifying done. Right then, so we'll do a quick run through. So Jerome, he takes pole here in Spain with a 1 minute 11.3. Beautiful time. We did say it would be a low 1 minute 11. IRT Leroy, he takes P2. Cahulio is P3. Kyle's P4. Nathan P5. Boom Pierre P6. IRT Henry P7. Kenny P8. Hilly P9. And then Dave rounds off the top 10. Meanwhile, CRL 34 and CRL AJ Wuhan will round off the point starters in P11 and P12 respectively. Bosch Evans, I should say, P13, and CRL Strauss, who's a late joiner, will start at the back of the grid. Right, if anyone has a weather update for us, do feel free to send it my way. It would be very much appreciated. So, like I said earlier, it is a mandatory two-stop strategy that the drivers have to do this evening. So if they don't do two stops, they will be disqualified at the end of the race. Now, because I went through the points at the start of the stream when it wasn't working, we will crack on and we will go through them very briefly again. Right then, let's get the... Right then, so the standings for Tier 1. At the moment, as it stands, it is Cahulio that is in P1 with 106 points. IRT Kenny is P2 with 74. Boompierre has 60 in P3. And Jerome, our current pole sitter, he is in P4 with 56. His teammate CRL Nathan very close behind him with 54 points. That is your top 5 currently in the standings as it stands. So all to play for, still very, very close. Cafilio is a bit comfortable, but one false move this evening and it could be game over and the gaps all do close. Meanwhile, over in the Constructors, Mercedes are leading the Constructors with 153 points. Following very close behind is Ferrari with 110, another good result like the last couple of weeks, and they'll be right back up there with Mercedes. In P3 is Williams with 90 points. McLaren is P4 with 88 and Alpine is P5 with 64. Meanwhile in P6 it is Red Bull with 60, P7 is Haas with 58, Aston Martin are in P8 with 41, P9 is Sauber with 39, and the really disappointing thing is Racing Bulls are in P10 but they only have 7 points. They're not even in the double digits yet. Right then, so we are on with the formation lap for the drivers. Now we are going to see the three who is got what point at this precise moment in time. Well, points I should say, tyres. Right, so front row both decided to go with the medium tyre. Then both Mercedes drivers are opting to start with the softs. Nathan Boompierre, Henry, Kenny, Freefall and AJ Wuhan all starting with the mediums. Hilly and then Dave and Strauss are on the softs. Meanwhile, Bosch Evans has decided to be the only driver to start on the hards, but being at the back of the grid, hasn't really got anything to lose. It could be the decent strat, to be fair. Obviously, strategy will be a big thing this evening. Safety cars, most likely. That will also be another big thing as well. Hilly and then Dave have bumped into each other, so they're going to start on cold tyres, and being on softs on cold tyres is not going to be a good thing for them. They'll probably be cursing each other. But it is a good track to race around Spain. It's quick, it's nippy, it's speedy, it's twisty, it's all of the above. It's got a bit of everything. There's decent overtake spots. Meanwhile, by the looks of it, Kenny and Josh have potentially had a bump because they've now also been sent to the grid on cold tyres. Oh, hard cold tyres. Oh, it doesn't worry what I'm thinking about. The drivers are now retaking their positions here on the grid for the Tier 1 Spanish Grand Prix, which will be the final Spanish Grand Prix for this game's life cycle. The next time we will see Spain is when we've moved over to F125 in hopefully just a few weeks' time. But of course, that's enough looking to the future. We now need to look to the here and now as we are about to get underway with the Spanish Grand Prix. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is 5 lights out and it is away we go. It looks to be a good getaway for Jerome as they head down to turn 1. Let's see if anyone has any bits of, there's a couple of lockups there further back, but nothing too major. Good getaway for Leroy, who overtakes Jerome and has taken P1. Meanwhile, Strauss bringing up the rears. A lovely overtake there from Henry, and he is now up to P7. No real bumps. And I tell you what, that was clean. I remember a couple of years ago we had an incident here on this particular corner. Meanwhile, IRT Kenny, he's gone wide and he's found himself off the track and he drops down to P14. That allows Strauss to move up to P12. Very close here between Leroy and Cafilio. No DRS for the first lap. 33 laps of racing and it's going to be action-packed to the very end. Amazing start there from Lee to jump up from P2. Meanwhile, Jerome has lost out on 2 positions. He's now P3. He won't be happy. Lovely clean stuff. Leroy about to set the fastest lap for the session. That will be the benchmark of the evening. 1 minute 18.3. That's the time to beat, boys. McLaren at the very back there. Kenny, he goes wide. That'll probably be a track limits warning. Leroy is now down to P2 as Cahulio takes the move down on the inside and has caught Lee sleeping a little bit into turn 1. Meanwhile, a bit further back, a nice little battle there going on. Kenny is catching up to the back of Bosch Evans. That's the mediums versus the hards. He will have the quicker tyre for now, but Josh thinking of the long game here. AJ Ruhan and Hilly, they have traded positions. Jacob looking to make the move down the inside, just couldn't get it done there. There's still plenty of opportunity, Jacob. You're coming up to a DRS zone any moment. Nice and close between the majority of the pack, to be fair, can't really complain. Obviously DRS train now enabled. Who's that going wide? That looks like the Alpine of Jacob. He goes wide. Nathan getting past Henry and Hilly getting past then Dave. Nathan and Hilly training. Let's take a look at this battle. Nice and close here between a Ferrari and a Red Bull. Obviously DRS pushes down the main straight. Hilly now setting the fastest lap of the evening as Den Dave makes his first of 2 pit stops for the evening. Obviously not feeling then softs, are we, Dave? Nice overtake around the outside there for Nathan. Gains track position and takes back P6. Lovely stuff from the very experienced Ferrari driver. Obviously one of the head admins here for CRL and has been here from the very beginning. Currently, as I'm doing the master document, I'm currently halfway through it. Nathan is the second highest point scorer as it stands on the document that I'm doing at the moment. That should all be published and ready for season 13. Hilly, one of the new people here at CRL, last week retired in the pits when he was guaranteed points. He was P12, there was only 12 runners running, and decided to retire. Remember, if you are watching, Hilly, don't retire if there's only 12 of you left on the grid. You're guaranteed at least a point if you do. Fastest lap awarded from P1 all the way down to P10, which I do believe could potentially be scrapped for, obviously, well, obviously it's scrapped in the next game, but whether CRL will decide to continue to award it is a different story. Right then, let's take a look at the front row battle as Kahiliu looks to make the move on Leroy down into turn 1, down the straight. He says, thank you very much, Lee, I'm going to take that and you can kiss my wing. But Lee is going to dig down and he's going to catch it. Obviously Lee on the medium tyres, so he can go a bit longer than what Kahiliu can do. Lovely stuff here from everywhere. Everyone's keeping it clean, but this is the reason why these boys are in Tier 1. This is supposed to be the pinnacle of CRL. These boys are the best of the best. The Premier League, as you should call it. CRL Strauss has CRL 3-4 in his sights. He'll be looking to try and overtake his teammate. But will that help or will that hinder him? Obviously, we saw it in Miami last week with Lewis and Charles, where the angriest we've ever seen Lewis, as Henry becomes the first driver of the evening to pick up a time penalty, which will be served, obviously, post-race. Meanwhile, Leroy's got DRS assistance, doing exactly what he did to Kahiliu, and it's not just Leroy getting past. Jerome also catches Kahiliu and goes, you know what, I'm getting past too. I'm taking P2, you can get a P3. So, Jerome looking to try and get back into the position that you started in. It's very close at the front. Lovely camera angle there from the game. It's very, very close all the way down to P7. DRS train all the way down to P7. And it's going to be like this for a while. We do have a yellow flag further back. I do believe Bosch either lost control or went for a tiny bit of a spin. Doesn't matter because he is back on his wheels straight away. Meanwhile, there was no real position change from the top runners during that. But that could all be about to change as we head down into the final couple of corners. And we move down onto lap 6. Yellow flag further back, and that's Bosch. Bosch is gone. I don't know if it's a retirement. We do have a safety car on track, and that is the end of the Aston Martin. I can't see him. I can't see him. I don't know where he... Did he crash? I'm going to assume he crashed. Oh, Josh, I'm gutted for you, mate. Right. Hilly, AJ, Strauss, all coming into pit. Perfect time for them where they were. Obviously going to the medium compound. Right, while we're on board for the safety car, let's take a look. Let's get pits out, shall we? So, no detail. Stops. So obviously the back runners have all done one stop as it stands. Still a few to go at the moment. I'm gutted for Josh. Normally race is a good race. Right, let's see if any. I don't think anyone will come in. Good possibility though. Yeah, we've got people coming in. So Lee, Jerome, Kahiliu, Kyle, the double stack from Mercedes. Bumpier, I think everyone's coming in. Oh, Jerome picks up freeze 10-second time penalty. Oh, that's not going to be good for the Ferrari driver. Double stacking everywhere you look. CRL 3-4 now leading the Grand Prix on the safety car restart. Look then, with everybody now having another pit stop, let's take a look to see where that leaves us. It's only Scott that's not pitted. Everybody else has done their first stop. Meanwhile, no one has completed enough pit stops to qualify to finish the race. So if this was to finish now, a lot of them would be disqualified. That'd be interesting. Who wins the Grand Prix? No one. Oh, okay. Pack is all back up together, so potentially we are going to get underway racing on lap 8, but it may take us around for another lap. Interesting choice of tyres. Both Kenny and Nathan have both gone onto the hard compounded tyre. So could they be going the long game and then deciding to go for another set of softs at the very end? That could be interesting. Yeah, a safety car is in this lap, so we are going to be underway on lap 8 of racing here in Spain. 6 lap old mediums versus 1 lap old mediums. I know who my money's going to be on, but don't count Scott out. Very experienced racer yet again. As we are now underway racing with the first restart of the evening, as CRL 3-4 gets us going, and he gets Mika Hakkinen as both AJ and Hilly catch Scott sleeping, and Scott drops the P3. Meanwhile, Den Dave also looking to make the move on the Scotsman. Let's take a look, and he does! Scott now drops to P4. Meanwhile, Leroy looking to add salt to the wound. He now goes, you know what, you can drop down to P5 if you don't mind, Scott. I'm taking that position. Oh, Scott, you should have changed your tyres, man. Oh, well, it is what it is. Like I said, still a long way to go in this Grand Prix. Meanwhile, Jerome with the 10-second penalty. He is now P5 as Scott drops to P7. The old tyres versus the new tyres. It's just not cutting the mustard, Scott. Oh, P8 now. Can we make it P9 with Kenny also looking to make the same move? We'll soon find out. We're going to stick on board with Kenny. He's looking to make the move as Scott, no, he stays out. Obviously, DRS will now be re-enabled. going into this lap. Obviously it's disabled on the first lap of a restart on a full safety car. Doesn't apply during a virtual safety car. Meanwhile, then Dave and Cahilio, they're also having a bit of a battle up front. And there's a spin, a nasty spin, as contact there between the Alpine and someone. And I do believe it's wing damage he has. He's got side damage there on the Alpine. Hard racing, or it could be investigated later on by the stewards. Alright, anyway, back on board with Hilly, who is leading the Grand Prix. Jerome looking to potentially make the move down into the DRS straight, or as they call it, the Camel's Hump, because apparently the Spanish circuit looks like a camel. Nicely done there from the Ferrari driver, retaking P1. Meanwhile, our championship leader is currently P3. So we had a bit of an action-packed restart there. Obviously Scott's old tyres just couldn't make do against the newer tyres of everybody else. Jerome setting the fastest lap on the softs. As Leroy comes into pit as well. Was he the driver that made contact with Jacob? I'm going to assume so, because Jacob is also into pit. We know he's got damage. We're going to jump, and JR goes from bad to worse for the Alpine driver with a 10-second penalty. Leroy did have wing damage, so it's probably safe to assume that the RB driver definitely was the one that made contact. Obviously, we'll find out post-race, but I think that's who made contact with whom. Right then, back on board with the front runners. It's still Jerome leading the Grand Prix. Hilly is P2 and Cahilio is P3. Very close there, as Jerome is out of DRS range on Hilly, so Hilly will have no assistance going in down on the small straight. Meanwhile, Cahilio will see his opportunity. Can he get done around the outside? Yes, he does. Cahilio now takes P2 of the Grand Prix. I do apologise there, people. Oh, that was awful. Got tongue-tied there. Oh, no worse feeling. Right, Hilly will be looking to make the move on the RB of Bumpier. Let's see what he can do. Nice slam of the door there on the Red Bull of Bumpier on Cahilio, and Hilly not able to make it past. Let's see if we can find a bit of a battle further back, shall we? IRT Kenny is looking to try and potentially make the move on Kyle, so we'll jump on board with Henry, see if we can get it done. It's the age-old battle of a Red Bull and a Mercedes. Where have we heard this story before? Jerome does have that 10-second penalty. Obviously, Jacob's also got a 10-second penalty. They can both be served on their next pit stop. I wonder what Scott's strategy is at the minute. Obviously, he's on the 10-lap-old mediums. He's not stopped once. It's interesting. We're just about to be over a third of the way done of this Grand Prix. And he's still yet to pit. What is going through his brain? Someone tell me. Someone let me know. Right then. Let's see if he comes in on this lap, shall we? No, he does not. He stays out for another lap on the mediums. Fair play to him. Meanwhile, his teammate Strauss will have DRS assistance going down the main straight. He sees it and he goes, you know what, Scott, I'm going to be the faster driver, and I'm going to take this. And he does. Meanwhile, I think it's gone from bad to worse for Jacob. There was a little bit of a yellow flag there further back, but he seems to be okay. Jerome no longer out of DRS range. He is on DRS range with Cahilio. Cahilio will somehow have assistance if he can keep that gap moving forward. Obviously, it's a DRS train pretty much all the way down at this precise moment in time. So it is very, very, very close. We move now down into the Camel's Hump, and we take a look to see if anyone can make use of it. And AJ has retired in the pits. He's gone, you know what, that's enough for me for the evening. You know what, fair enough. He's had that bump, he's had a yellow flag, 10-second penalty, fair play to him. He's not had a good evening. Don't worry, Jacob, dust yourself off and we'll see you again in the next round, hopefully. But done the right thing, and that is retiring in the pits. nice and spaced out here between the front runners at this precise moment in time. We are going to jump back on board with Hillier, who's looking to make the move on Jerome. It's the mediums versus the softs, and the mediums probably the right compound to be on at the moment. Oh, it was! Oh, what's going on? Safety car of the SC, summoned surely. What happened there between Jerome and Cahillier? Scott's decided to finally come in. Now that was questionable. I don't know what exactly happened there between them two. Scott has opted for a fresh set of softs. Maybe it's the medium, soft, medium approach, but yeah, I don't know if the Ferrari made slight contact with the Mercedes and put them both in a war. Oh, two championship contenders colliding like that, that's Meanwhile, Bompierre will now be laughing and taking that all the way to the bank, who's also in this championship fight. And he'll be like, you know what? That's mine. Oh, that was an interesting lap 13 as we move now on into lap 14. I'm just getting the standings up at the moment on the CRL page. Yeah, so Jerome, like I said, is currently P4. Cahillier is leading this championship. Kenny and Bompierre and Nathan are the other three to watch out for as Jerome comes into the pit to serve his 10-second time penalty. And Cahillier is also coming in as well, obviously, both of which will have damage, and they will, they'll definitely be one to look at post-race, that's for certain. It's been a few reportless rounds here in Tier 1, and it's been a bit, you sure? But I've got a feeling that non-report streak is about to come to an end here in Tier 1. Right, Bompierre is out of DRS range on Hilly. Then Dave picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Kyle, I believe, is just in DRS range, but he hasn't got it. But Henry has got it on IRT Henry. Meanwhile, there is a yellow flag further back. I do believe that is for IRT Leroy, potentially. I don't think it's for any of the others further back. Not. Nice and spaced out now between the drivers. Well, they are spaced out and they're bunched up together at the same time, so it's going to be, you know what, let's jump on board with Kenny. Looking to make gains on IRT Henry, who's further up. Meanwhile, Kyle is now overtaken Hilly, and he takes P2 of the Grand Prix. Bompierre is going to be sat there laughing, because while these guys are all battling out, it just allows him to pull away. You can see the distance there as Bompierre in the distance compared to the drivers that are. There we go. Wouldn't let me go back to this camera. That was weird. Like I said, folks, it has been a long time since I did league comms. I am a little bit rusty, so do stand with me. But like I said, at the same time, Leroy is out of the garage. Leroy's called it a day. Ooh, what's going on? Leroy was doing alright. Interesting. Okay. Another one gone. Remember, Lee, you were guaranteed points, man. You should have said if you wanted to stop racing, you obviously you've done comms before. Could have joined me in the comms box. Should have been nice to have you alongside me in comms. It kind of took the pressure off me a little bit by just doing this solo. Meanwhile, Henry and Kenny are battling, and Nathan's going to take full advantage of this. He's like, you know what, boys? You keep causing each other issues. I'm just going to squeeze on by. It is very, very close side-by-side racing between the Ferrari driver and the Red Bull as Henry keeps position and Nathan cannot get past. I'll give it a couple into the DRS zone. I'm sure Nathan will find his way to squeeze past. Meanwhile, Hilly looking to try and make the move on Kyle. Bompierre now with over a 2-second gap on Kyle. So Bompierre, like I said a moment ago, is laughing. No real overtakes there at the moment. We've just jumped on board with Strauss. He decided to cut the grass for us a little bit. That is much appreciated, mate. Meanwhile, Den Dave is by himself. CRL 34 is by himself. And then Cahillier and Jerome Now, that is the big shock at the moment. Obviously, with them two colliding during a championship battle, it's, yeah, interesting indeed. Right, meanwhile, further back, it's so close between P2 all the way down to P5. No, P6, I should say. We are going to jump on board with Henry as he looks to potentially try and get the move done on Hilly. Hilly looked like he exceeded track limits there, possibly given a warning. Obviously, the track limits are set to strict here at CRL, so the game is in the giving as Henry has a bit of a wobble. Nathan, meanwhile, will be noticing this, going, "Oh, I'm going to have you for breakfast and lunch and tea." Going through the chicane here now. Can Nathan take full advantage of that wobbling bull? We're soon going to find out. DRS obviously enabled for the Ferrari driver. Looks to make the move and can't get close enough, unfortunately. Meanwhile, IoT Kenny sticking very close to them. As we are on lap 17, so we are over the halfway mark now as we go into lap 18. So we are well and truly into the second half of the race, of the second half of the season. Obviously, next time we join the guys here racing in Tier 1 and on Tier 2, obviously you'll catch CRL 3-4 doing the comms for the Tier 2 boys. We head down under to Australia in Royal Albert Park. You know what? Australia's a lovely track. I love Australia. I think everyone's got a soft spot for it. No battling pretty much going on further back, so this is the battle to stick on board with at the moment. We're going to stick on board with IRT Kenny. He's got the full view of everyone in front. IRT Kenny looking to make the move. He is on them hard tyres, so the mediums won't be as quick now as Kenny's tyres, so long as he's looked after them, that is anyway. Kenny should be in prime spot. Meanwhile, Nathan in the same boat as Kenny. So long as he's looked after these tyres, they should be fine. Obviously into the starting straight, which is obviously a DRS zone here in Barcelona. Now can Kenny look to make the move here on Henry? At the moment he can't. Meanwhile though, further down, Hilly loses out to Nathan, but they're going to go side by side into turn one. Slight contact there between the two drivers. Only nothing but a tap, as Nathan claims P3. Meanwhile, Henry and Kenny are also battling. Side by side racing between the McLaren and the Red Bull as they come down. Hilly and Henry, Kenny and Henry I should say, and it's Henry that keeps hold of P4 for now. Good battling between these two. Through the chicane and up to the Camel's Hump. Everyone is going to have DRS on someone here, apart from obviously Kyle. It's close, but no overtakes down the small straight. That was a good battle between Henry and Kenny. Clean battling at its finest. Obviously Nathan got involved as well. A couple of love taps there between Nathan and someone else, but it's perfectly fine. Nothing major. Right, we are now down into the starting straight. Nathan is going to be looking to make the move, obviously, on Kyle, but we are going to stick on board with Henry at the moment, because I've got a feeling that Henry and Kenny are going to be battling each other again very tightly around this section of the track. I say that, and they it's very calm now in this part of the track with 13 laps to go. Well, about to be 13 laps to go, I should say. No one looking to make any real opportunity on them at the moment. But like I said, everyone, I do believe, let's take a look. So, the only persons to have stopped is Den Dave, Kahilio and Jerome. So they've all done their mandatory stops. people have still got to come in again. Right, Nathan is now up to P2, getting around Kyle. Lovely and easily done. No real major challenge there for the Ferrari driver. Meanwhile, Kenny still hunting down Henry, and Hilly still hunting down Kenny. CRL 34 makes his second stop for the evening, and that means he has now finished his mandatory stop, so he can now go to the end. We'll stick on board and see what he decides to go for. I've got a feeling it's going to be a set of mediums. I'd be surprised if it isn't. And of course, it is the yellow wall tyres for the Haas driver. It's very close between P2 all the way down P4, main P5, and potentially P6 if you bring them in. Small wobble there from Nathan, nothing too major though. As Hilly is coming in for his pit stop. And I do believe that is Hilly's second pit stop of the evening. So once again, mandatory stops have been completed. Meanwhile, further down the road, Nathan and Kyle have switched places, and Kyle has reclaimed P2. Meanwhile, Henry is having a sniff on the Ferrari driver. The smell of carbonara and spaghetti bolognese wafting off of the Ferrari car. Can he get the move done? That is the question. The answer is no. It's lovely stuff here from these guys. These guys are literally just showing how it should be done. It's a shame it's not a full grid, but it is what it is. Hopefully next time out in Australia we'll get a full grid. Full grid for Australia for Tier 1 would be absolutely amazing. Hopefully Jamie will be leading the session again on next Thursday. But like I said, between now and then, you do have the Tier 2 boys on Monday evening. CRL 34 will be your co-commentator, and hopefully Glowstick will be back up and running then as well. Obviously Jack's not been too well, just like Jamie has. We wish the boys all the best, and hopefully they'll be back in the comms booth very, very soon. Meanwhile, here and now in Spain, Nathan now has reclaimed P2, and I do believe, yes, he has. Henry is going to go side by side with a Mercedes driver. Red Bull and Mercedes. Slight tap between the two, both leaving each other good space, good battling. It was only a tyre rub, and Henry is now up to P3. However, Kyle was going, you know what, Henry? I want that spot back. That was mine. And he's got the Red Bull driver firmly in his sights. Remember, Henry has got a time second penalty which we applied post-race. So Kyle is currently provisionally P3. Beautiful stuff here from the front runners. It is all going down at the top. Meanwhile, there's a little bit of a battle going on between CRL Strauss and Hilly. Let's show them some love. Strauss on the 17-lap old mediums and Hilly on the 1-lap old mediums. This should be like taking candy from my son. We'll soon find out. No. But it probably will be done in the next lap or two. Meanwhile, CRL 34 and Jerome are trailing behind. But doesn't matter. So long as they finish, they will get points. That is the main thing. Obviously, Jerome and Kahiliu, if you're only just tuning in now, had a bump a few laps back. They were leading this Grand Prix, and unfortunately are now further back. But with drivers still yet to make their pit stop, just like Kyle was doing there, he is now in, and he is out on the fresh set of softs. You never know, you never know. And then, back on with the front runners at this precise moment. It is Bumpier, Nathan and Henry and Kenny, which are current front runners. Obviously, like I said, Henry does have a time penalty that will be applied post-race. Bumpierre has come in, and so has Nathan. I can only imagine these are going to be softs that are going on. Yeah, it's a set of softs for the Red Bull driver, and it's a set of softs for the Ferrari driver as well. I can only imagine that Nathan was waiting to see what Bumpierre did to go, you know what, whatever he does, I'm going to do the same thing as well. Meanwhile, Strauss also coming in. There's going to be a set of softs there for him as well. He applies the brakes just in the nick of time to avoid any time-second penalties there for him. I can only imagine that will be softs as well. Right, let's jump on board with Kenny for the time being, and let's take a look to see who is still left to come in. So Kenny and Henry both need to come in, and so does Strauss, but Strauss is in at the moment. There we go, so that's confirming that they've completed all their mandatory stops. So it's just the two front runners that are still yet to come in. Strauss has gone for a set of mediums. Right, okay, has he not got any softs left? Interesting. Do these boys come in? The Red Bull has, the McLaren hasn't. Right. Kenny leads the Grand Prix. But I've done my maths right. If he keeps the gap between him and Bumpierre, he might have a free pit stop if he can get round quick enough. I see Henry obviously on the new softs, as Bumpierre is now on the hunt to catch Kenny as fast as he can. Meanwhile, Nathan had a little bit of a look of a move on Kyle. Just mesmerised by this race at the moment. Sorry, lost for words. It's great to see people playing the game how it should be played. Not bumper cars, but just playing the game as it was intended. It's great. It really is. If you're interested in joining, please, honestly do. There's plenty of reserve seats available, and there will be plenty of opportunities in the future for future tournaments. Please, honestly, get in touch if you genuinely want to get involved. Right, anyway, so Kyle probably going to make the move here on Bumpierre. Kenny still out at the moment as Kyle gets round Bumpierre and takes P2. Nathan, meanwhile, following closely in P4. There is Kenny. Right, we'll soon find out if Nathan is going to get the move done on the Red Bull driver. He is trailing behind ever so slightly. Kenny has now come in for his final stop, and unfortunately did not have a big enough gap. Meanwhile, the battle further down, Kyle it's close down to turn one. Nathan only just missing out on taking lead in the Grand Prix. That was close. I saw that. That was great. Absolutely wonderful. We're there watching Kenny have his pit stop. Meanwhile, Nathan's making the charge to take lead of the Grand Prix. It is very close going into the final couple of laps here. 5 laps left to go. And Bumpierre has lead of this Grand Prix. It's been a great race. There's been action. There's been a safety car. Obviously a couple of 10-second penalties where it needs to be. Just wish I had my co-coms with me. Jamie, mate, if you're listening, hopefully we'll have you back next week. It's not the same about you, man. And like I said, because it's been a while since I've done comms solo, I'm rusty. I've not got the... I used to be able to do this fine solo, but I'm not going to lie, folks, I'm struggling a little bit here. Meanwhile, Nathan looking to make the move down into turn 1. Ferrari take lead of the Grand Prix, and Nathan is back in charge. Meanwhile, Hilly is looking to close the gap on Kyle if possible. Sorry, Henry. Not Kyle, Henry. I just completely forgot that Henry was there. But everyone has completed their mandatory 2 pit stops now, so it is now a dash to the finish. Can Nathan hold on for 4 more laps? That is the question. IRT Bumpier looking to take the move, and he's going to down into turn 1, down the straight, and Nathan concedes position. There's still plenty of time though. I've got a feeling that these 3 are going to be battling it out for who finishes where on this podium. It's a Red Bull, it's a Ferrari, it's a Mercedes, and then there's a Cash App car. Not who I was expecting the P4, but Hilly. Let's just take a moment to appreciate Hilly. Like I said, last week he pit and quit, but he didn't know that he could get points. So to go from a DNF to 4th, good source of points. And like I said, good. Just good. It's just a word, good. We'll go with good. Henry and then Dave, the only drivers with time sticker penalties which will be applied post-race. Let's take a look and see what their penalties are, shall we? We've not actually looked at what they are. So Henry has 3, and then Dave has 6. So Henry at the moment looking to be finishing P7. Then Dave, I believe, P8. We'll find out post-race anyway. Meanwhile, here we go again as Jerome picks up a 3-second time penalty. Nathan looking to retake claim of the Grand Prix down the inside of Bumpier and takes it back. Nathan leads. Now, if this is to continue happening, because we had this a minute ago, so it'll be Bumpier next lap and then Nathan on the final lap. If it continues the way it's going. We'll soon find out though. Anything can happen. A spin? Crash? Anything can happen. It's still, even though it's only 2 laps, it's a long way to the checkered flag. Kyle chasing Bumpier down. Obviously no DRS for Nathan. Bumpier and Kyle will both have DRS down this straight. Unable to pass each other. They'll go again down the main straight. The main opportunity to overtake here in Spain. Meanwhile, further back, it's Hilly, Henry and Kenny. They are battling for P4. They're still in a fight of their own. Here we go, back on with the top 3. Can Nathan hold on? Or is he going to get double overtaken? Oh, contact between the Ferrari and the Mercedes. Nathan's forced to go wide. This is going to be scrappy to the end. Nathan reclaims P2. Side by side with the Mercedes. Has the inside advantage. Nathan reclaims P2. Bumpier now leads the Spanish Grand Prix with 1.5 laps to go. Anything is still possible. Like I said, a late penalty here would really upset one of the top 3. DRS assistance for the Ferrari driver and the Mercedes driver. Nathan looks to... Oh, I thought he was going to do it on the inside then. He backs out. the Mercedes driver of Kyle, not giving Nathan space. Well, he is, but he isn't. This is close. This is great. This is racing at its finest. My cat has just decided to fall asleep next to me. Don't fall asleep now, cat. This is the last lap of the race. This is going to be a crucial lap between these three. Let's take a look as Henry and Kenny change positions further back. It's close. There's slight contact between the drivers. Bumpier and Nathan going side by side around the first couple of corners. And it's Nathan which currently leads. But Bumpier's like, no, that position's mine, Nathan. Give it back. But no, Nathan goes, no, this is mine. I've earned it fair and square. Meanwhile, Kyle's like, you know what, boys? Don't forget I'm here as well. Nathan leads after that scrap. It's very close. There's nothing between it. Side by side, pretty much. All through there. That was great racing as we go down into the Camel Straight. Can Bumpier make the move? We're going on board. Nathan slams the door. Slight contact between the Ferrari and Mercedes, and Bumpier takes the lead in the Grand Prix at the end of the final straight. But Nathan's digging in. He's like, no, Bumpier, that's mine. Meanwhile, Kyle, he's gone. He's spun. He's lost out. Oh, something may have happened there. It's controversial. It's action-packed. But Bumpier will win the Spanish Grand Prix. Nathan will take P2, Kenny P3, Hilly P4, Henry, wherever he is, P5. Kyle will be absolutely gutted. He's P6. Then Dave, meanwhile, P7 awaits him. Cahilio, our championship leader. That will be a big blow, finishing in P8. Jerome also with his eyes on the title currently. P9. Strauss will take P9. Jerome drops down to P10 because of penalties. And Scott doing Scott things in P11. And that will be our Spanish Grand Prix. Whew, that was definitely action-packed to say the least. Just confirmation that obviously Bumpier is the winner of this Grand Prix. Kyle, I'm gutted for you, man. Hilly takes P4, Henry P5, Kyle P6, then Dave P7. Cahilio P8, Strauss P9, Jerome P10, and 3-4 P11. Obviously, all the drivers that did finish do qualify for points. Right then, so while we're doing that, let's get everybody in and get some interviews going. Obviously, if anybody is commenting, it's I've not seen them because I don't have them on. Right, let's see if I can. Nathan, Cahilio. Who else was it? Bumpier. And because I said that I would invite him in, wherever he's to, just purely because I said I'd invite him, regardless, we'll get Scott in as well. Right then, so we're just waiting to see if anybody else joins. Right, so we are joined by two of our podium standards at the moment. We're just waiting to see if anybody else decides to join. If not, we'll crack on the way and get this rounded off so everybody can go out, enjoy their evening. Right, I don't think Kenny's going to join, so we'll start off with P2. Nathan! What an intense battle at the end there.
Yeah, it was.
It was great watching you two go at it. To be fair, it was great watching all those top runners going at it. Talk us through the very end there, because obviously there's a couple of late dives, there was slight contact between you and a couple of drivers. Obviously you had to go wide at one point. Talk us through that final bit of the race.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to be behind going into the penultimate, going into the last lap, so I could get DRS. And my plan was working, where we were switching positions every lap, so it was working in my favor. And then Kyle sent it on me, or not sent it, but he broke late and hit me into turn 1, so I had to cut the chicane. So I had to then burn a lot of ERS to
stay up,
keep ahead of him. Yeah, to keep ahead of him as we were battling through. So I had like 40% ERS going into the final lap. So it wasn't ideal. I guess I would prefer to have 100 like every other lap.
Yeah.
So I could defend from Bumpier on the other like the last DRS straight. But yeah, going into the final lap, it was difficult because I had no game sound for
your
like
game
the last
sound cut
laps.
out.
Yeah, just completely cut out. So that was fun.
I can imagine it was.
It was stressful as fuck.
Yeah, I can imagine so. Good source of points though, however, mate, so it does keep that championship dream alive.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say, and then on the straight, I was going to defend the inside, and then he sort of like, he went to like dummy, I guess, or like go to the right, Pompier, and then when he hit me, I kind of panicked. I was like, oh, did I like move too late? So I broke early on the inside of that corner. Just kind of like, it was like a sorry in a way, but like still trying to like battle. And then yeah, from then on I didn't really have enough ERS or anything to get past him, so I'm a bit annoyed, but like it's fine. I'd rather lose to Thomas, so.
Nah, fair enough. I mean, at one point it did look the winner's on, because even on stream I turned around and went, if it keeps going the way it's going, because they're constantly switching positions, Nathan's going to win this. And then that last little scrap, that honestly, it was so good to watch. You can't be too disheartened. You're on the podium. It's a good source of points. It's going to give you a big boost, considering that P1 in the standings dropped quite a few positions during that race, so it's going to close the gap quite a lot. Next week we move on to Australia. How do you feel about Australia?
Don't know, we'll see.
Don't know, we'll see. That's always the way to look at it. Nathan, it's always great to see you race, mate. It's always great to see battles like that. Hopefully we'll see more of that in Australia. Right then, moving on to someone who's not on the podium, but I promised him a podium interview, or an interview at the end anyway. It's CRL S12.
How you doing, Rob?
I'm not too bad, mate. How are you?
I was doing great till the safety car came out and I forgot it was a mandatory 2-stop. I thought I was being clever staying out.
Yeah, I did question it, to be fair. While everybody else is coming for new tyres, you just kept going and going, and it's like, is this a strategy?
I missed my chance to get to the front, pitting with Jacob and that, so I thought I might as well stick to my guns and see if I can go soft to the end, and then it didn't really work out, and then but I got P11, that'll be P10 when Euron gets his penalty, so
yeah,
good points for the Haas.
It's points regardless, mate, because obviously only 11 people finished, obviously points awarded to P12, so regardless, it's points for the constructors. Obviously Leroy decided to pit and quit, not what V-Carb could ideally do with, since they were in single digits going into this race. I think the hilly source of points, it should finally boost them out of that. Next week, Australia. How do you feel about Australia?
I think a solid P6 is on the cards. I'm got the pace to compete with these boys that don't know what sunlight is, but that's a joke, obviously. But it's a better track, and hopefully I'll know the rules.
Well, you'll obviously get a bit of an advantage on these boys, because obviously on Monday night you'll be doing the comms for the Tier 2 lot, so you get a bit of an inside look to see what strategy works, what doesn't work. Bear in mind, of course, if it doesn't rain or not.
Hopefully it's in-house. That's all I'm going to say in the matter.
Australia, it's known to rain. It's very rare that I've not seen a wet Australia, to be fair, or at least some sort of rain. But yeah, I promised you an interview. Not a great interview, but I promised you an interview.
Yeah, we will be there. Let's just leave it at that.
Fair play, mate. Looking
See you
forward
next week.
Looking forward to seeing you next. Hopefully we've got Jamie back next week as well, so take the pressure off a bit. Right then, to round obviously the interviews off for the evening, I do believe it's Bumpier.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Hello. Bumpier, winner of the Spanish Grand Prix, good source of points, another podium under your belt. Obviously, a good intense battle with Nathan there at the end. Talk us through it.
I mean, yeah, like Nathan said, we were switching, and I knew as well that that wasn't going to be in my favor. So I tried to stay behind lap 32, but Carl was too close, so I couldn't. And then, yeah, lucky they battled, and yeah, battle on the last lap was quite hectic. Some contact as well, like turn 2 or 3 and 4. We made some contact and like barely keep it on the road, but yeah, we managed. And then yeah, I tried to be on the inside for 14 or 10 it is, the corner. I saw Nathan, I think he moved twice, so that's naughty. But then I thought, oh well, I'll just go to the outside. Squeezed him a little bit, maybe too much, but it felt fine. And yeah, then got it.
Well, you got across the line first, and that's the main thing when it's in racing. Like I said, it's a good source of points for yourself. Like I said, because obviously Julio, he didn't finish in the top 3, that does close the gap down. Now, as I've asked the other boys, I'm going to ask the same to yourself. Australia is next week. How do you feel?
I don't know. I mean, as it's going this season, I either win or get 0 points. So probably you win or 0 points the next week.
Fair enough. It is a very close season. Despite there only being 2 tiers, it is a very, very close season between the top runners. Right, I do feel as if that is probably going to be a good place to end the season. Thank you to everyone that's watched. Thank you to all 14 of our drivers this season. Like I said, next week we do move over to the Melbourne circuit. Hopefully next week, Jamie, if you are watching, you're going to be well enough to be back on, because doing this solo after so long was hard. Thank you to everyone that's watched. Thank you to everyone that's raced, and we'll see you same time next week at CRL. But like I said a moment ago, please, 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 if you do have something that you want to watch, make sure it's the Tier 2 boys on Monday evening. From everyone at CRL and from myself, thank you for watching. Please go enjoy the remainder of your Thursday evening.